Good afternoon. Greetings from not Alaska. So I left my sailboat in Alaska and I migrated south back to California to my home. So now I am a landlubber, a homeowner, and a do-it-yourselfer. So what have I been up to? Lots to do here. So I got back and I started opening 4 months worth of bills, and I noticed my water bill was, it had basically tripled. So obviously there's a problem, a leak somewhere. So I started investigating. I shut off the water to the house and the cottage and was able to determine that the leak was somewhere in the yard, in the underground PVC line. So I started digging and digging my little heart out, looking for the leak. So anyway, I finally found the source of the leak, and I repaired it in a couple ways. So I will show you what I did. So follow me. Oh, and let's not forget how important it is to laugh a lot. So the water line runs a couple hundred feet down to the street, but I decided to start digging in this wet area between the house and the cottage. So I started digging in this area because it was exceptionally muddy, so I thought, well, maybe the leak's under there. So I didn't know where the pipes were, where the water lines were running, so I started digging and I found the pipe, and so I just started following that. I found this one, and then I found the main line, and so this T right here was in there, and this line, which goes to the cottage, was connected there. As I was digging around, moving and things around, that just snapped right off of that T. So there was no way to repair that, so I had to cut that T out, and I've put a temporary fix in there with that compression coupling. So that has joined that line, and so at least the house has water when the water's on. The cottage does not have water right now. So anyway, but having that break there allowed me to cap off that end and isolate this area that basically runs under the steps, under the patio, and up to the house. So I capped that off. So I took off the compression fitting, and I'm going to put this cap on the end to try and isolate that area. So I've got my primer. I'll put that purple primer on there. Then I'll put the cement on there, and then I'll stick that cap on there. So I capped that off, and the meter stopped spinning, so that meant the leak was in this area underneath this clump of trees. So I decided, like, all right, I'm tired of digging, so I decided to abandon that whole line because I couldn't continue digging under all that. So I abandoned that line, and I put in a new line using PEX. So the old line ran under here, it came out here, and like I said, it runs all the way down there to the street. So I cut that off, and I put in this new T here, and using the SharkBite connections, I connected this white line, the PEX. So I used 3/4 inch PEX and strung that out there. Put a T here, went to the cottage, that goes under the cottage, connects with the old black poly line, which eventually I need to replace all that. And I put a new shut-off valve there. And then this runs now up to the house. And I used the old PVC line. I cut that, and then I pushed the PEX there so I could get it underneath the patio here, underneath the sidewalk. So I ran the PEX through the old PVC line and then connected it here to the copper, to the spigot, and then that goes into the house. So I turned the water back on, and the meter was not spinning, so no more leakage. Yay! So I just need to dig some trenches. I'm going to wrap all the connection sites with silicone tape so they don't corrode, and this should basically last at least the length of the rest of my life. So I've got a brand new line in, just got to finish digging the trenches and bury that, and problem solved. Although I still have to deal with this big mess. And so digging all these pits made me realize how much water is here, how much runoff there is from the hill behind the house, because every time I dug somewhere it filled up with water. So this pit kept filling up with water, and then so I cut off that old poly line and I connected this hose to it, and I ran that out down to the road, and also connected the end of this section too, which I cut off and ran a hose out. So that at least started draining this pit. But the next project is I need to put in some French drains and start making sure that this water is not going under the structures. It's all running right under the cottage. So stay tuned for that project.